Step 3, you grow hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. Wake up.
Welcome to Tales from the Field. My name is Bradley Ball, and we are back and better than ever. I am here with some good friends. We are here specifically to talk about Live 360 today. So if you're joining us, this is the Know Before You Go episode for Live 360. I am joined, of course, by my good friend, the Mountain Man, Mr. Daniel Taylor, DBA Bulldog, the always spectacular and amazing Mr. Niraj Jafari. That's the other way, Dan. You're pointing the other way. There we go. And then the spectacular Thomas LaRock, the sequel rock star himself. Tom, thank you so much for joining us. So we're going to be going to Live 360, and real quick, if you want to ask a question on this live stream, because this is for you, and if we don't get it to on the live stream, make sure and put a question down in the comments below. We will get to you, and we will get to your questions. But this is your first time finding your way over to Tales from the Field. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. We drop content on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. On Mondays and Wednesdays, typically we have MS Tech Bits, but today we're doing something a little special for the March up to Live 360. This is our first episode, and we will be doing this every other week until early November, just the week before we get to the conference. We're going to have the different conference chairs on, and we are going to talk about the conference and what you can expect from the individual tracks, as well as what you can expect at the overall conference experience. So we are so glad that you could join us. Let's take right off. Gentlemen, do a quick introduction and maybe talk about Niraj and Dan, because you're already, people are familiar with you from Tales from the Field. Talk about what you're going to be doing at Live 360.
Well, yeah, Daniel Taylor. Looking forward to the Live 360 event. It's always an honor to be invited. I specifically specialize in data and AI. So on Sunday, I believe it is, we're going to be doing an end-to-end of Fabric pre-con. That's really fun with a lot of my friends. And then I'm most excited. Well, I'm excited about all of them, but I'm excited about doing the one with you, Brad, and Thomas LaRock on my favorite thing, Database Watcher. But we're not just covering Database Watcher. We're covering real-time intelligence in Database Watcher. All the data that we store. So I'm super excited about that one. And then I'll let you share the other one we're doing, Brad.
Okay, that sounds good. But I'll kick it over to Niraj. I'll get to myself last.
So, yeah, my name is Niraj. I'm also going to be a part of that end-to-end Sunday pre-con with Dan, Brad, I think Brad Shed, Josh Litherman, and probably, I think...
Mr. Buck Woody.
Buck Woody, yes. So that's the team that we are going to be doing end-to-end pre-con. We did it last year, the intro to Fabric. This year we are going more in detail, so that would be a great session to go on. I'm also doing one session with Josh and Brad is going to say something about that. What do you, Brad?
Yeah. So I've got this cool little session we're doing. So first off, I'm very excited. We kick off the week on Sunday, and we're going to get into the way the week runs, but we're kicking it off with hands-on Microsoft Fabric Lab. Very, very excited about that. We're building it up. We've got Bradley Schatt from the Fabric Cat team. We've got Microsoft's Buck Woody from the Azure Data team. Then there's myself, Josh Ludeman, Niraj Jafari, Daniel Taylor from the Azure Fast Track product group. So you're getting a whole bunch of Microsoft professionals in a room to talk to you about an end-to-end scenario utilizing Fabric, where we're going to take you through the process from ingesting data all the way through visualization. And then on Monday, that's another pre-con day that we have. Daniel Taylor, Thomas LaRock, myself, we are going to be presenting on Database Watcher using real-time intelligence to show you how you can capture this information, but also how you can use it, how you can build customized queries against it, how we can troubleshoot and solve problems, but also how we can build visualizations or use the native visualizations in Database Watcher. Throughout the week, we've got a lot of wonderful different experiences. A couple different things I'll point out is on Monday, we have an event where we go out with people and you can meet with the speakers and talk to them before the event gets underway. On Wednesday, we have a Birds of a Feather luncheon where most of us will be hosting tables, and you can come and participate, sit down at the tables, talk to us about anything that you want, anything you're interested in. And then we close things out on Thursday with a networking event. But there's also post-cons, wonderful, wonderful post-cons on Friday if you're sticking around to be able to get those at the end of the conference week. And then I'm going to kick it over to Mr. Thomas LaRock, who is, of course, the chair for the Data and AI program. As we go throughout this series of videos, we will eventually get to the Data and AI chair. This is know before you go, but Tom, talk to us about yourself, what you're doing at Live 360, and what you're excited about.
Something about myself, man. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm a data janitor, just like y'all. So I've been coming to Live 360. I think Brad, same as you, for 10 plus years now. And currently, I do serve as track chair along with Andrew Brust, co-chairs for the data platform live track. So I'm not sure if you mentioned this, but Live 360 is really like 4 events in one, right? There's Visual Studio Live, there's Artificial Intelligence Live, Cloud and Containers, cybersecurity, ransomware, data platform. So it's really 5. Tech Mentors, it's 6. There's like 6 events in one at this place, right?
All for the price of one ticket. And you can, it's not like things are roped off and restricted. You can go sit in any session you want, any session that you're interested in.
Yeah. So I serve as track chair, and I'm responsible for y'all getting invited year after year. So,
Thank you, Tom.
You might want to buy me some bacon every now and then, which you do. It's, no complaints.
Bacon with Tom LaRock twists my arm. I mean, don't threaten me with a good time, buddy.
Is it Hash House a Go-Go? The bacon?
Yeah. We need an extra side of bacon with that.
Yeah. This is one of my favorite events across the globe. It really is. It's a great venue. One year I brought my family down, had a little family vacation. I could speak. I took sessions early in the morning, let them sleep in, and then I go and join them at the amusement parks, right? Disney, Universal, and we got to hang out in Orlando. I think I even took them to this Kennedy Space Center one day too. So a lot to do down there. It's great for families. Good time of year, week right before Thanksgiving. And I just can't say enough good things about the venue, the event, and the people.
Absolutely. So Josh Ludeman is going to be joining us. And as many people know who have watched our Azure Data Community Roundtables, every single time when we're on there, I say to Josh, where are we going to be? And he, of course, talks about the beautiful Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort. So I'm just going to pull that up real quick, because when we talk about where you're going to go, so Live 360 is the event. The venue is the gorgeous and palatial Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort. This is a wonderful hotel. They've got great amenities. It's a wonderful place to relax. They've got this little Zen fountain in the middle that I absolutely love. But the important thing to know is this is going to be decorated for Christmas. They're going to have the Christmas trees up. They typically have some type of gingerbread house, hotel, castle that they've built with a train going around it. And not only that, but the parks are very, very festive. And so both parks, Adventure Islands and Universal Studios, will be decorated for Christmas. And you are on the resort's ground. As a matter of fact, as you're walking over to the conference center, you can hear the Hulk launch. You can hear people screaming from the Doctor Doom Tower of Terror going up and down on the ride. You are just a very simple walk away from being over at the parks. And if you're staying at the conference hotel, your room key is a 2-park pass. Very, very important to understand. It's 2-park pass, which means, a 2-park fast pass. You still have to buy the admission. You still have to buy the ticket. But when you get in there, there's a line that it lets you cut the line and be able to go to all the rides a little bit quicker. If you're coming down to Orlando on vacation, what do you want to do? Well, you do want to skip the lines. So if you bring your partner, bring your kids with you, you can let them go and have a fun park day, and you can join them as soon as you're done learning. It's such a wonderful, wonderful event. But before we talk about that, we should also talk about how you're going to get to the
Brad. Real quick, just a note for people coming: don't try and eat the gingerbread house, because you'll get kicked out and you'll lose that 2-day pass. So
how do you know that, Dan?
I would not know how I know that, and I thank you to the security guards for being gentle.
Yeah. So Dan loves gingerbread houses. That's my takeaway from that. But folks, don't do what Dan did. Don't eat the gingerbread house. I'm sure they have them for sale somewhere in the gift store, or at one of the mini bakeries they have. You could go over to the Hogwarts part of the park or Diagon Alley, and you could go to the different candy shops. They've got tons of great candy there. but hold it in around the gingerbread house. So one of the things that I did want to cover is how are we going to get to the event? You might be coming in internationally. We have tons of folks every single year. One of the things I love to do is I will have a contest. I will say who has traveled the farthest. And then I'll have candy. I don't know that candy is what I should be giving out to whoever traveled the farthest, but we look for who has traveled the farthest. And there have been folks that we've had from Denmark, from Norway, from different places in Europe. We've had folks from Australia, as well as, of course, Canada, the continental United States. So this is a wonderful international conference, and you're going to meet a lot of people from all over the place. Where you're going to fly into is you're going to fly into MCO, the Orlando airport. The code is MCO. When you go and you punch it in to be able to say, this is where I want to buy my ticket to. So once you land, how can you get there? Well, this is a great site, the Park Prodigy, and I'm going to put this link in the description of the video. So if you come back to this, you'll be able to find it. But you can see we've got a couple different options. How to travel. We've got an airport shuttle. There's ride share. There's rental cars. It goes into what is the cheapest way and what the breakdown basically is. One of the things that's important to note, and I didn't realize this until I actually looked up the article in preparation for this, was there's an airport shuttle to Universal Studios, but you have to buy this as part of your vacation package. And so you've got to figure out a way to be able to purchase this. And you can see that the Universal Shuttle, there's a charge for one way for adults and for kids. And then there's a round trip for adults and kids. Now, when we were looking at this, $39 for adults, $29 for children for your round trip. But it looked like $23 for adults, $18 for kids for a one-way trip. When you look at doing an Uber or doing a Lyft, they're actually a lot more affordable. If you're doing that, you'll go into the exits, which is on the top floor of, the second floor of MCO. That's the arrivals area. And there's a designated area where you will put in the gate that you walk out of. So when you walk out of the airport, turn around, look behind you, there's going to be a number 1 through 4 for what gate you're walking out of, and put that into your app. So that way your Uber driver or your Lyft driver can find you. I think that actually looked like what the cheapest value was to be able to get over to Universal Studios. But if you would like to, you can pre-book the shuttle. And then it also had some details on the different hotels which the shuttle actually delivers to. And the Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort is right there in the list for us. So when you do make it in, if you want to go to different parks, because a lot of people, if they're making it to Orlando, where are they going to go? They're also going to go to Disney World. They're looking to do some type of Disney experience with the kids. So you may want a rental car. If you get a rental car, it's important to realize that you're going to need to park it. You're going to need to pay for parking. So keep that in mind. If you're over on a resort, typically there are buses and there's a lot of great ways to be able to utilize that transportation. The walking path from the Lowe's Royal Pacific to downtown, the Universal City Walk area is only a couple minutes. And so it's really, really easy to get there. They also have buses and shuttles from the resorts. So if you're looking for the most economical way to do it, I would Lyft or Uber. Stay at the resort, then use the resort transportation. And I would also say that for Disney, if you're looking at adding Disney on after the fact, there's a lot of capabilities. Disney has a ton of buses. They have shuttles. Depending on what resort you're at, you may have walking paths directly to the parks. You may even have the capability to use the new Skyliner ride that they have at some of those resorts as well. So you definitely want to make sure that you look into that if you're looking at using this. Niraj, I see that you said that was me this past year. So did you check out Disney as well?
No, I meant I was the winner of the longest commute. That's what I meant for that.
Yeah, so your flight actually got delayed, and you got it the day after we were originally expecting.
But also, Brad, I'd like to mention to the folks listening to this, if you're coming down, it's also a good time of the year to still go to the beaches. We have moderate weather, and that's when you're gonna want to rent a car, because you can go to Daytona Beach if you want to surf over there at Sebastian Inlet, or look up Clearwater Beach. It's one of the top beaches year after year around the world, and it's a 2-hour drive from there. But you'll want to
Cocoa Beach. Go to Cocoa Beach.
Cocoa Beach.
Well,
Yeah.
I think
See, I dream of Jeannie. Got to go to Cocoa Beach.
Well, and that's the thing right there. If you're looking to do something like that, where you're going to need to drive, that's where you want to get a car, and a great place to be able to go. You're in the middle of Florida. I mean, they call it Central Florida for a reason. You're closer to Cocoa Beach and to the NASA Kennedy Space Center over there. And so if you want to go see the Kennedy Space Center and you want to see the Atlantic Beach, it's a little over an hour away. Really not a bad drive at all. It's a little bit further to go to the West Coast, but I'll be honest, I much prefer the Gulf of Mexico beaches. The water is really, really beautiful. You get some beautiful blue oceans that you can see really well. Also, the beach sand over there is so fine grain that the only place in the world that you find finer grain sand is in Hawaii on some of their beaches. So the West Coast beaches, they are just renowned for their sunsets, of course, because the sun sets in the west. And so you will be staring directly at the sunset when you're over on the west side of the state. If you go over to the Atlantic, though, beautiful place to see a sunrise, and you're going to see the sunrise over that ocean. So from one end of this one side of the state to the other, you could actually see sun up and you could see sunset just within the same day.
Yeah, as we get closer, we'll have to watch the announced rocket launches for the folks as we get closer to the event to see if there's going to be any live, because you can see them from Orlando, but there's nothing better than seeing them from the NASA Space Center. And does the sun still rise in the east and set in the west when the Earth is flat?
Dan, it's not flat. I told you like 50 times. It's not flat.
But the answer is yes.
You know, every time I think of a flat Earth, I picture the Superman villains being caught and spinning around.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think is going to happen.
So back over to the conference.
Back to the conference.
If you go to the Live 360 website, there's a couple wonderful things here that we want to be able to tell you to take a look at. So first off, travel, you can see plan. We've got some information about the conference location, the hotel information, also the travel. And then there's also some extra things that you can find that are around the park. You can also see 2 p.m. Convention tickets for after 2 p.m. There's also, if you're looking to attend, video testimonials, how you spread the word. But let's say you need to convince your boss that this is a good conference for you to go to. We also have an article specifically on that. So one of the things you want to do is, if you need help, this is something that has been put together that we've used in the past to be able to help people understand all the different capabilities that we have and all the different things going on at this resort. You could copy and paste this and make sure and change the insert your name here, as well as manager name. Those are the two things you need to change. Everything else is fine. But this is a wonderful, detailed opportunity for you to be able to come and enjoy. And again, look at all the different conference tracks that we have. There's some amazing speakers that will be at every single bit of this. Microsoft is heavily invested in this. And when you're looking at the sessions, all of the conference schedule is live. So you can come over and you can look at Sunday by date. I'm sure there's other pre-cons, but my eyes are full on this one, the hands-on lab, Microsoft Fabric, a full day, where you're going to be learning from so many wonderful people.
You see guy.
Josh Ludeman, Bradley Schatt, Daniel Taylor, Mr. Buckwitty, Niraj. Eventually, we're going to get your picture up there. It's in the works. And then on Monday, you've got your next day of sessions. And again, there's so many wonderful things to take a look at, but I've only got eyes for this workshop right here. SQL Performance Unleashed, Real-Time Data Pattern Insights with Microsoft Fabric. Dan, we're working on getting your picture up there as well. Don't worry, buddy. It's going to happen.
It's okay. The folks know how good looking I am. So
they are. I mean, look,
they just know.
They knew that once your picture gets up there, that's all they're looking at. They wanted them to read the topic first and foremost.
And by the way, Tom, I only got eyes for you. I know Brad has eyes for these things.
I know, and it creeps me out just a little bit, but I do know that.
Our wives are also going, what the heck?
Yeah.
Just make sure when you hug, you hold it till it's awkward.
Hold it.
And then
there you go.
we've got a whole bunch of different sessions. So if you're looking for the different sessions and you've got any questions about these, again, we're going to have multiple different folks. Now, I don't have this in a format that I'm ready to be able to share it live right now, but we've got sessions coming up where our next session, 2 weeks from today, we're hoping to have Mr. Andrew Burst with us to be able to talk about the AI track. And then we're going to, the week after that, talk to the cloud and containers team, as well as cybersecurity and ransomware. We've got some special guests coming up in October 21st when we have our data platform live. And it may be Mr. Bob Ward and Mr. Buck Woody that will be joining us to be able to talk about what they're going to be doing at the conference. And then we have our last track will be up on the first week of November, where we're going to be talking to Brian Randall from GitHub, who's one of the conference chairs for the Visual Studio Live portion of the conference. Very, very excited to have Brian over here and have him talking about the developer experiences that we're going to have. Tom, anything in particular that you can think about the conference? Anything you want me to showcase?
How about the luau?
Oh, the luau.
Red velvet cake.
Yeah. Wednesday night, first off, what an amazing time. Take yourself, take the kids, take the wife, take your partner, take whoever you want that is coming there with you. It is a very family-friendly event, but it's also a lot of fun. You get a luau placed. Typically, there's some glow sticks that you get as well. We go up there. The team at the Lowe's Royal Pacific Resort does a wonderful job putting on the luau. They will call people from the crowd to go up and participate.
You will be told to go on stage.
Yes. Well, so to be fair, and I think if we're going to tell this story, we got to tell this story right. So there was a year that they had conspired to have Tom go up on stage, and Tom is standing behind a column. It's the only thing tall enough to be able to block people from seeing how tall Tom is. And like any good friend, I'm standing right next to him, and Tom looks at me with a look of panic in his eyes. And I go, absolutely, buddy, I got you. He's right here. Tom's right here. And I usher him up to stage. Well, the next person wisely had apparently run from the area. It was no longer there. And so after they called their name out several times and the guy goes, I need another name, Tom turns to him and goes, Bradley Ball. And I'm standing in the crowd and I see all this and they go, Bradley Ball. And I go, yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
And we had a blast. We had a really, really great time. I think the first person didn't understand shaving a haircut 2 bits. That's okay. It made us look really good when we understood how to be able to beat the drums like that. But it was a really, really fun time. It was very memorable.
It was more fun than I expected to have. Yes. Embarrassing myself in front of several hundred people.
Absolutely. And if people do want to take a view of what the conference is like, we have created some shorts on the Tales from the Field. They're on the same playlist that these live streams will be at. All you have to do is go check them out. There's a couple different day summaries, walkover videos, because it's always a beautiful walkover to be able to get to the event. It's one of my favorite things. The speakers are typically over at the Cabana Bay. I love being at the Cabana Bay Resort. The walkover is beautiful in the morning, going through the Lowe's Sapphire Resort as well. And then right over to the conference center. It's a beautiful walk. It's a good time walking in those doors, seeing everybody there, seeing everybody excited, standing in front of the schedule, figuring out what they want to go do today. I got to tell you, every time I walk in those doors, I just get happy and excited to participate. You said it earlier, Tom. This is my favorite conference every single year. It is by far one, I would say this and Bits, 2 best conferences out there, hands down. And so if you love SQL Bits, you're going to love this one. It's a bunch of good people. It's a good time. It's a great venue. You don't want to miss out on it. Anybody have some good experiences they want to share?
Yeah. So last year was my first year at Live 360. And first off, believe it or not, no, that's why I got to hug you tight, and I got my credit card available. just the immense size of the conference first blew me away. But how well organized it was just kept me wanting to come back for more and more and more. So one thing though, Brad was showing all the sessions earlier. Something I recommend is plan your days, because if you go in there all willy-nilly and start looking for things, it's gonna be a bad day. But if you plan it out, the conference is so well organized. If you know where you're going, the signs are all well put up. It was an amazing time. Also, the camaraderie, if forget, I won't say the word again, but that word that I just said, um all the folks, like, you would just be able to walk up to a pot of people standing at a table in between sessions and just start talking, and everybody's friendly. Everybody will talk to each other and they'll go, oh, what are you here for? Oh, I'm data and AI. Oh, I'm security. Hey, what do you do? Who do you work for? It was a wonderful event. It's just well organized, and honestly, I didn't mind the food. The food was good, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
the food is surprisingly good. I will
good.
tell you, for a conference, I have tweeted out pictures before. There's typically a mozzarella burrata salad that we get at some point in time, and it is a beautiful fresh ball of mozzarella that is just so good. I could eat that thing for all three courses. They only let me have one appetizer though.
Yeah, and if you're still on the fence, if you're like, hey, there's other conferences going on, it's the end of the year, come down. It's a great time. And as Brad said, bring your family. It's an economical time also to come to Florida. The rates are usually lower this time of year because
Mm.
nobody wants to come here. They want to come during spring break or the summer. Don't come here during the summer. It's
Which
the
is funny. It's
7
the
days.
worst
Yeah.
time to come here.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
It's
so
the
hot during spring
7
break and summer. It's I mean, we get into November and we're talking like 60, 70-degree days, maybe
Yeah.
an 80-day, enough that you could go to the park and you could ride a ride and get wet and not be cold. But it's like, I mean, oh, it's fantastic. It's perfect weather.
Yeah, it's 100 degrees outside right now, folks. Don't come now. Come to Live 360 and enjoy the conference. Get a lot of learning on. Go back, impress your manager that you've learned so much, impress your team, and then also spend some time with your family. It's a win-win, honestly. It's just I can't say enough. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this being my second year.
So, Niraj, how about you?
So
Any
yeah,
good memories?
same as Dan. Last year was my first year, but it was amazingly great. I mean, uh, the three sessions were blown up. I mean, I had no idea. Uh, I mean, I've been to SQL Saturday that was my first time, and like 20, 30 people in the class, and the other one was like, oh man, that was completely packed up. People asking a lot of questions, but more was the collaboration and the networking, right? I mean, a lot of networking. I mean, reached out. A lot of people reached out later on. I reached out to a lot of people, which really helped me out, and that is something definitely good to be up at Live 360. I mean, definitely I agree with Brad. Dan, uh, the way it was managed, amazingly. I mean, a lot of sessions we had, but we guys were able to be very easily finding the place where to go. People were so friendly. I mean, and the food, definitely. The food was amazingly good.
Yeah. Tom, how about yourself? I know you've been there for many years. Do you have a
Yeah.
favorite memory?
A favorite memory. Honestly, I think I have a lot of good memories from Live 360. But one thing I want to talk about, or I would mention, is I'll say my first year, because I went down there, no idea what to expect, right? And I was working for a vendor at the time, Confio Software, and we had a booth or a table. And what I remember is that first night, the vendor reception and the line just going out the door, and the amount of people we had to have 1,200 people at the event, and they were all there that first night. And so the energy in the room was just amazing. And it's one thing that has kept me coming back year after year is the energy, the people you get to meet, and the friends I met over the years. We all meet in Orlando, right, once a year.
Yeah.
And it's so, to me, going back to that first year, I think is probably some of the best memories I have. Those are the ones that I've kept for some reason. But honestly, Brad, you and I and other, let's say, speakers that meet there on a regular basis through the years have formed a really close friendship as well. Something also that I value. So the conversations inside and outside the speaker room and inside and outside the session room, I have a lot of those memories as well.
Absolutely. There's so many good, and if you do have a car or if you do want to Uber, there are so many just fantastic restaurants in the surrounding
Oh,
area.
just go to downtown
You're
Disney. Just go walk
absolutely.
around downtown Disney one night, right?
Well, even closer to that in Universal, there's Turkey Lake Road that you take down, and then you can go on Dr. Phillips. Dr. Phillips is known as Restaurant Row, and there are a ton of amazing restaurants there. Ramen, sushi, Dragonfly Robotic Grill. We went there before. We've gone to the best gelato in Orlando, which is the best gelato in Italy, with their only one franchisee ever in Orlando for La Carrera Gelato, which is right next to Bar Taco, which is also right next to just a Christie's Italian restaurant, which is just down the road from Fleming's, which is of course a great steakhouse. And there's so many different places along that row. And then you're absolutely right. You go down to downtown Disney and you've got restaurant after restaurant that are just amazing. How many great meals have we had at either STK, or we've gone over to Morimoto, or we've gone over to Haleo by Jose Andreas. There are so many wonderful restaurants and things to do. And that's not even including the different stuff on International Drive. Oh, hey, Lo-Fi, how you doing? Hopefully we'll get to see you over at Live 360. It's going to be a great time. But one of the things that I do often, I talk to folks all the time about what have we got in the area, and what are we going to do. So maybe I'll find a couple recommendations that we'll make sure to throw out on some of these future broadcasts, because there's a lot of wonderful things. Lee and Rick's Oyster Bar, been around since 1950. We always have a night where we go to Lee and Rick's. And then if you want to stay over in Orlando, one of the best steak places I've ever been to is the Palm. We went to the Palm last time. It's pricey, but it's really, really good. And it's over at the Hard Rock Hotel. And you go in there and you get to just tour so many different things. Dan's remembering the wonderful time at that dinner.
The Palm is great for people watching. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
and
yeah.
If you come to Orlando this year, we will tell you all about it.
Absolutely. And then if you're into donuts, you got the Voodoo Donuts that's sitting right there in Universal City Walk, that you can go and you can get your pack of Voodoo Donuts. And Josh, I'd be remiss without Josh here if I didn't include the donut bacon that you can get, or the donut with a whole slice of bacon on there, the candied bacon. I think it's got chocolate on there as well. It's kind of like an eclair, but it's a chocolate bacon donut. You had
it's
me at
something
bacon.
that takes 27 minutes off your life.
Exactly. So good. Hey, Martin. Well, hey, glad we've got Brazil in the house. Nice to see you, my friend.
Brazil representing.
That's funny. I was when I was flying home from Lexington the day in Atlanta, the flight connecting was going to Sao Paulo, and I was like, well, maybe we just don't go home. Maybe we go to Sao Paulo instead. And it's so funny. That's great. Great to meet you, Martin.
All right. So, guys, I think we're close to wrapping this up. One of the key things we want to make sure that you understand is how to be able to get here. So the airport is MCO. How to be able to go over. There's a shuttle that you can book for Universal Studios, but also when we look at the costs, depending on how many people, if you're just going yourself, shuttle could be pretty economical, but you want to take a look at Uber and also at Lyft. And you go to that at the arrivals gate, which is going to be on floor 2. Walk outside, make sure you look at your door. There's a door number. And we want to make sure and look at that to be able to put into the app when we get our driver to come. Universal Studios is an amazing place. We talked about how your key card is also a 2-park fast pass. Wonderful thing that you get. And I will tell you this as a local, I have gone and bought a hotel room before for myself, my wife, and my kids, and they will give you a ticket for every person staying in that room. And it's cheaper sometimes than actually buying the fast pass at the park. That fast pass can go, and it depends on the number of people in the park, but it goes for between $130 and $210 a piece. So if you've got a family of 4, just by staying at the conference hotel, you're saving about $1,000 over what it would be to go buy those fast passes out of pocket. Wonderful event tons of great restaurants also in the area. Make sure you get the Universal Studios app. So that way you can get the different restaurants and you can make reservations on the app for restaurants. OpenTable is also another great app to look at. Anything else you guys can think of?
I'm just looking for the future sessions of this as we move forward.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right. 2 weeks from today, we will be talking with Mr. Andrew Burst, and we will talking about the data and AI track. I'm sorry, we'll be talking about the AI track specifically. The week after that, we're going to be talking to Rockford Lakota, and we're going to be talking cloud and containers. And then 2 weeks after that, cybersecurity and ransomware with Sammy Liao and Dave Kawalu. And then 2 weeks after that, we are on the data platform with Mr. Thomas LaRock, who is the head of the chair, with Mr. Bob Ward, Mr. Buck Woody. And then 2 weeks after that, Visual Studio Live 360 featuring Mr. Brian A. Randall. All right, everybody. For Tom LaRock, Daniel Taylor, Niraj Jafari, I thank you all so much for joining us. Be good to one another out there. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you want to be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up,